Welcome to the Evolve EdTech podcast. In this podcast, we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you incorporate new and engaging educational technology into your classroom to help you evolve the creativity, communication, and technological abilities of your students, colleagues, and school community. So sit back and welcome your host and Evolve EdTech creator, Tristan Heron.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of Innovative EdTech. It is so lovely to have you with us for this episode. We've got another fantastic episode for you today, and we are going to get straight into tonight, which is looking at Google Docs. And we're going to share with you some fantastic and maybe simple, but really useful tips and tricks to help you make the most of Google Docs. But let's not waste any more time. Let's go and have a look at what we're going to explore in this episode. And tonight we are exploring Google Docs. So I'm going to start off by just providing you with some general information about Google Docs and some features that you may or may not be aware of when it comes to this fantastic tool from Google. I'm then going to explain some of the different ways that you can actually access a Google Docs document. There are so many ways, so simple, and I'm going to show those to you tonight. We are then going to go and have a practical look at 10, that's right, 10 fantastic tips and tricks that might be beneficial for you when it comes to using Google Docs. But just remember, these are only 10 of the wonderful tips and tricks that you can actually use when it comes to using Google Docs. There are so many that we just don't have time to jam-pack them all into a 1-hour webinar. Then we'll finish off the evening by going through and just explaining some different ways that you can continue to connect with us here at Evolve EdTech after the presentation finishes today. And we'll go through what is coming up in next month's Innovative EdTech workshop. So we've got a very busy hour coming up. So I think we dive straight in and get started exploring Google Docs this evening. All right, so if you're new to the Google Workspace ecosphere, or if you have been a Google Workspace user for some time, Google Docs is a fantastic tool that should be part of your teacher EdTech toolkit. So if you don't know what Google Docs is a powerful and versatile cloud-based word processing application, part of the Google Workspace suite. It allows users such as yourself to create, edit, and share documents online in real time, fostering that collaboration and productivity amongst teams and individuals. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to go through some key features and benefits of Google Docs. Some of these that I'm going to mention in the next little section will be part of those 10 tips that we will explore later on in this episode. So we will go into more depth with some of these a little bit later. But I'm just going to share with you some of those key features and those benefits of utilizing and accessing Google Docs as a teacher. All right, so let's go and have a look. Accessibility is number one. So the great thing about Google Docs is you have the ability to be able to access your documents from any device at any time, as long as you have an internet connection. However, there's also another way that we can access our docs if we don't have an internet connection. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. So it doesn't matter if you're on a computer, a tablet, if you're on a smartphone, you will be able to access Google Docs and utilize, create, edit, share, all of those different features of Google Docs on a range of different devices. How amazing is that? So versatile and such a fantastic tool that should be part of our teacher toolkit. Number 2 is real-time collaboration. That's right. This is a great benefit of Google Docs is you can have multiple users working on the same document at the same time. You can see those changes as they happen. You can communicate through the inbuilt chat system, and you can provide feedback and comments for your teammates, for those other people that are working on that document. I have used this with students before, and I have seen some fantastic results. So being able to utilize that one document across a number of different students or colleagues is a fantastic real-time collaboration element of Google Docs. Number 3, the revision history. This is a fantastic element and feature that you will love of Google Docs. And I'm going to show you later on during this episode how you can actually access and see this. So Google Docs automatically saves everything for you, which is fantastic. This means that you are able to view past versions of your document. This makes it easy to track edits, revert to previous versions, and understand the evolution of the document. There have been many times where I have created something or I have edited something and I've edited the wrong copy, and I've had to revert back to the revision history so that I am able to go back and access that information that I may have deleted or manipulated or changed. So the revision history is a fantastic feature that will make your life as a teacher and also make it much easier to monitor and support your students in the classroom if you are using Google Docs in any forms or fashions. All right, let's go have a look at number 4. So integration with Google Workspace. So Google Workspace is our overarching ecosystem where we will find things like Google Drive, as well as other Google services such as Sheets, Slides, and sites and forms, and all of those different Google Workspace elements. Google Docs and the integration that is provided through that productivity aspect will make it much easier to interact with those various applications. So you'll be able to insert spreadsheets. Okay, yes, you can insert spreadsheets into your Google Docs document. Okay, we can access presentations. We can add files directly to our documents so that we are able to access those really quickly and really easily. Another fantastic feature of Google Docs. Number 5, I mentioned this one earlier about the fact that we do need an internet connection to be able to access Google Docs, but we can actually do a number of different things in offline mode. So you can work on your documents without an internet connection. Those changes that you make in that particular document are automatically synced to that document the next time that you connect to the internet. So this always ensures that your work is up to date and makes using Google Docs a practical option if you're working somewhere where you don't have an internet connection, or your internet connection may not be stable as you hope. So you can actually access and use Google Docs offline. So cool. All right, another fantastic feature is the ability to use templates and add-ons. So you can start with a template if you are brand new to Google Docs, or you're looking for a particular type of form that you would like to create. So you might be looking at a resume, a report. There might be a whole range of other templates within the Google template library that you can access that you will be able to use as a starting point. You can also extend Google Docs functionality by adding a range of add-ons. Okay, these essentially add additional features to Google Docs that they are not created by Google themselves. So these are other features like bibliography creation, diagram insertion, etc., that are created by third parties that allow you to add these as additional elements so that you can use these within Google Docs. Again, extending and really focusing on showing how we can use Google Docs in a bigger, broader sense than just what is provided to us by Google themselves. All right, number 7, security and sharing controls. This is something that we will show you in this episode today, and that is the fact that Google provides robust security features when it comes to using their particular products. This includes two-factor authentication, a range of encryption elements, and you also have control over your sharing options. So you can determine who can view your documents, who can comment on them, and who can actually edit the content in your documents. So you have a lot of control when it comes to sharing your documents with other people or students, etc. And our last amazing feature that we're going to go through is the fact that you do not need to install any software when it comes to Google Docs. That's right, Google Docs, and just like the Google Workspace ecosphere, it is web-based. So it doesn't require software installation, which means that you can start creating, editing, and basically doing almost anything that you can put your mind to with a doc straight away by signing in to your Google account. How fantastic is that? We don't need to pay any of those additional fees, monthly subscriptions. We can get started using Google Docs straight away as long as we have a Google account. How cool, how simple, how amazing is that? All right, so we've just gone through 8 amazing features of Google Docs already. We're going to talk about some of those a little more throughout this episode today, and I'm going to show you how you access and use those. But before we do that, I do want to just go through how you access Google Docs. So there's a number of different ways that we can use to access a new Google Doc if we are creating a new Google Doc for a particular purpose or we're working with our students. So here are just some of those particular ways, and I am going to show you these tonight, so don't worry too much if you don't grab them straight away. So some of these different ways that you can actually create a Google Docs is you can actually head over to your Google Workspace dashboard and you can actually create a Google Doc from there. I will show you how to do that tonight, and that might be your first point of call if you are creating a doc through your Google Workspace dashboard. Another way is if you are logged into Chrome, up in the top right-hand corner of your browser, you will find some 9 dots. It looks like a little waffle, okay? If you click on that, you will be able to find and see all ranges of different Google Workspace applications that you can access and you can create then and there, okay? So that is our second way that we can access a new Google Docs document. Our third way is that we can actually head over to our web browser if we're using Google Chrome, and there's 2 ways here. We can type into our Omnibox or our address bar docs.new or docs.google.com, and this will create a brand new Google Docs document for you, okay? There is a little caveat to that, and I will explain that when we go through that shortly, and I show you how you can actually use that method, but that is a really quick shortcut if you'd like to create a new document using your Omnibox or your web browser. And of course, just like all of those fantastic other web applications from Google, we can access it through the Google Docs mobile app. So each of these methods is really simple and really quick, and it allows you to jump straight into your document creation using Google Docs. So there's a number of different ways that you can create a Google Docs document really quickly, really efficiently, and effectively so that you can get started with this amazing tool. All right, so I think that leads us on to this next part of the presentation of episode 4 here, which I think is what's the most exciting part. Tonight, we're going to dive in and explore 10 tips and tricks that might be really helpful for you when it comes to using Google Docs. I think these are 10 tips and tricks, and they may be tricks that you know, they may be tricks that you're aware of, they may be things that are brand new to you, but I think these are 10 tips and tricks that every Google Docs user should be aware of. So we're going to go through those in this episode, I'm going to show you how to complete the particular tasks so that you are able to go out there and practice these yourself. So I'm going to have a demonstration document that we will use tonight. We're going to do a little bit of back and forth with the presentation, and I am actually going to do something that I really despise, but I'm going to do this tonight just to make this presentation a little bit less clunky. And I'm actually going to pop out of my Canva presentation just here, and I'm actually going to leave it in my edit mode, which I do not like, and this is making me twitch like no tomorrow. I'm going to leave it in my edit mode just like this, just so that it's much easier for me to demonstrate the tips and tricks that we're going to explore throughout this episode. So I am so sorry if you're someone like me who really doesn't like it when people leave it in edit mode. I totally understand that people leave it in edit mode because it's so much easier to be able to move into a demonstration this way. So we're going to do that today, and I'm hopefully going to make this through without making too many boo-boos, but we are going to find out, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. So let's dive into our very first tip and trick for when it comes to using Google Docs, and that is accessing a new Google Docs document. All right. I did mention that I would show you how to do this, and I am going to absolutely show you how to do this today. All right. The first way, okay, and this is probably the one way that you will probably focus and use a lot, is by heading to your Google Drive dashboard, okay, and creating a document from this particular space, because most of us are probably using Google Drive quite significantly, and this is just probably our go-to space. All right. So you can see here all of my different documents from Evolve EdTech, planning, things like that. Okay. But the one simple way that we will use to create a new document is we will head up here to the top left-hand corner, and we will click on this little button that has a plus symbol as well as the word new. And then you will see here we have a number of different options, from folders and file and folder uploads. And then we have a whole range of those different applications that we can create from our Drive dashboard. And this is where we are going to click on Google Docs, and we are going to create our brand new Google Docs document. Okay, so that is the first way that we can actually create a brand new Google Docs document. All right, and that is through our Google Drive dashboard. The next way that we can do this is if we head over to a brand new window here, we head to our Omnibox, or we head to our address bar, if that's what you're more familiar with when it comes to language. Another way that we can do this is we can type in docs.new, and that is going to create a new Google Docs document for us. Now, one thing I do want to stipulate when it comes to using this shortcut is this document will open and will save in whatever Google account you were signed into in the browser that you are using. So at the moment, I am signed into my Evolve EdTech account in this particular browser. So this document has been created, and it will now be found. If I come back here and refresh this page, I should have here, hopefully, somewhere, if I go to my Drive, I should have a blank document. Can't find it, isn't that funny? But I will have a blank document that will appear just here, because this is the account that I am signed into. So if we are also looking at the other shortcut option that I did mention, if we type in docs.google.com, that is taking us to the actual Google Docs landing page, and then you'll just create a new document from here as a blank document. All right. So docs.google.com will take you to the landing page. All right. Docs.new will take you directly to a brand new document. So 3 ways to access Google Docs documents just there: through our Drive, through docs.new, and docs.google.com. Let's move on to tip number 2. So the second Google Doc tip and trick that I'm going to share with you in this episode is how you can access additional font options in your Google Docs document. So yes, you can actually add additional font options in your Google Docs documents. So let's go and show you how easy it is to do this. So if I go docs.new again to open up my demonstration window, all right, so you will see that we can, this is my demonstration document. We can put in our whatever we would like just there. If we head up here to our editing suite or editing bar, you can see that we have a whole range of fonts that we can use and access. But let's say that we don't like any of those particular fonts. We can actually head up here to the top and click on this button here called More Fonts. And just here is where you will find an absolutely ridiculous amount of different font options that you can add to your font list. All right, so you can choose this by script, you can filter this by the type of font and display. Okay, you can go popularity, alphabetical, you can edit and sort these however you like, but this is where you will go if you would like to add a range of different fonts. So you will just select your fonts. You can see that they're appearing over here in this right-hand column called My Fonts. You'll just click OK. And now if we head up here, we should be able to find those fonts. There we go. There's one of them, Lobster 2. So now if I'd like to highlight my text, I'd like to use Lobster 2. There it is. So if you're looking for some different fonts to use for your presentations, you can access and add additional fonts in Google Docs through the font tab in our editing bar just here. Another simple, fantastic way to elevate Google Docs and to continue to make our presentations and our work even more outstanding. Let's head over to tip number 3. So the third Google Docs tip and trick that we're going to explore in this episode is how you can actually use voice typing and the voice typing feature in Google Docs. So we're going to head back over to our demonstration window, and I'm going to show you how you can use this tool. This tool might be beneficial if you have some students that require additional support, maybe students that find it challenging to express their ideas by writing them down. Maybe you can get them to use the voice typing feature, and they will be able to do this. Okay, so let's head back over here. We are going to head over to Tools, and we're going to scroll down to voice typing. We can also use the shortcut Control-Shift-S if we'd like to access the voice typing features. So now all we do is we click on the microphone, and we're going to give this a whirl and see if this works for us this evening. You can see here that we can change our language. So we do have that option there. We can move this around. All right, so let's see how this goes. We're going to allow this time so that it can access the microphone. And is this going to work? Oh, I don't know if it's going to work because I'm using my microphone to obviously deliver this presentation to you. So it may not work this particular time, but let's see if it does. Oh, I don't think it's going to play nice with me today. Okay. Oh, it didn't hear that. Let's check the microphone. Okay. Yeah, I think it's not going to work because I am presenting to you. So at least you now know where to go to access the voice typing feature in Google Docs. So I just head over here to Tools, and our voice typing feature is just there. So that is the third wonderful tool that we can use when it comes to Google Docs. All right, let's head over to number 4. And this is something that I did mention a little bit earlier. So tip number 4 is using and accessing our version history when it comes to our Google Docs documents. So this is fantastic if you are creating something collaboratively, if your students are working on something, or even if you just make a bit of a boo-boo and you need to go back and find something that you've accidentally deleted or you've accidentally changed. Trust me, I have done that before because I've had multiple versions of the same document open because I might have been doing different things at the same time. So the version history is a godsend when it comes to Google Docs. So let's head back here. And you know what? I'm going to go to this document here, which is my 24 ways to use ChatGPT in 24 days planning document. So I'm going to use this one here because we've got a lot more content in this document. So it might make it a little bit more realistic than our demonstration document. So to access our version history, we head up to File, and then all we do is we go bing, version history, okay, just down here. So there's a couple of things that we can do. We can name the current version. So if you'd like to track the versions that you are creating, you can give that a name so it's easier to identify what is happening. So maybe you're making changes daily. Okay, maybe different people are working on different sections. That might be a really handy tool to use. Otherwise, this one just here, the C version history, is the place that you would like to go to. And again, we do have another fantastic shortcut of Control plus Alt plus Shift plus H. Okay, you've got to have 4 fingers there. Okay, this is where we will be able to see our version history. So just over here on the right-hand side, you can see we've got a drop-down menu. We can see all the different versions. Or if we just want to specifically look at a named version, we can choose that just here. So we can see all of these different versions, these different revisions that have been added or created within this particular document since it was created. So if I was to press one of these, it would take me back to that particular version and it will help me identify what has changed. I'm not going to actually do anything here because this is a completed document, all right? But you will be able to see those changes. And if you would like to restore those, you just head up the top here to the big blue Restore This Version button. You can also print a particular version if you've had a student perhaps do something a little bit inappropriate, all right? So you can actually print that so you have that as evidence or to be able to report or whatever you need to do with that. But the version history is a fantastic tool that you will absolutely love as a teacher when it comes to using Google Docs. All right, let's head on to tip number 5. All right, the 5th Google Docs tip and trick that we are going to look at is the Google Docs template library. So the Google Docs template library is a fantastic suite of pre-made templates that you can use to get started with a whole range of different projects. So to access this one, we're actually going to head over to our Omnibox or our address bar, and we're actually going to go to docs.google.com. We did spot this one very briefly earlier in this particular episode, and you will actually see here just at the top of our page that we have a template gallery. Now we can actually click on this and we have a couple of different options come up. Now, if you're within an organization, and I am at the moment using my Evolve EdTech account, so I'm currently within my organization. If you're within an organization, they may provide you with some templates that you can use, and those templates will appear, okay, as the first default element, all right, of your particular template gallery. But the place that you really want to go is to General. And here you will see that we have a suite of pre-made templates that we can use to get started. So we have some work-related templates, we have some sales, personal, we have letters, we have CVs, we have essays, reports. We have a whole suite of pre-made templates that you can access straight away through Google Docs to get you started. So if you're just introducing Google Docs to your students, this might be where you go, and this is where you get your students to start using and manipulating Google Docs. So the template gallery available through docs.google.com, and then you just click on the template gallery little button up the top here. It will turn gray once you hover over it, and then it will expand and show you all of those amazing templates that you could use. Let's move on to tip number 6. Tip number 6 is where we're going to show you how you can actually use and add drop-down information to your Docs documents. That's right. This is an amazing, relatively new feature that I have been utilizing quite a lot as Evolve EdTech and also within my role as a teacher. So I'm going to head over to the 24 ways to use ChatGPT in 24 days document to show you how you can actually use this fantastic feature of drop-down boxes and information in a Google Docs document. So what I was trying to achieve when I was doing my planning for my 24 ways to use ChatGPT is some sort of system so that I could see what I had completed, what was in progress, and also what had been completed. So to do that, I accessed and utilized the ability to incorporate those drop-down boxes in my planning table. So you can see here that for these columns just here, okay, I have some drop-down boxes. So I have one here that is called scripted, and I have one particular little button here, okay, one option called not scripted. So I can go through and I can click on those, which was really beneficial in keeping me on track and making sure that I was able to identify what I had and had not completed and what was still pending. So you can see if I move over here for my filming, I have 4 different options that I have created and added so that I can keep track of what I have completed and what I need to complete moving forward. So if we head over to our demonstration document, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. You could use it in a table like I have, or all we do is head up to the Insert tab, and then we literally scroll down here to the drop-downs option. All right. It's going to give us a couple of different options here. There are some preset options that you can select. Okay, so they are available if you are new, but I find it really easier to start a new drop down with my own information. So I would probably name this. So let's call this multiple choice. And then all we can do here, okay, is we can change our color so that our options are easy to differentiate. And then we can change the text. So maybe we say this is A, maybe we go B, C, and D. We can add additional options if we would like. Otherwise, we press save, and then you will see that they will appear here. Now, this could be really useful if you are providing your students with a worksheet and you're creating that through Google Docs. Maybe it's an assessment, some form of document, some form of information. Okay, these drop-down menus and these drop-down boxes and options are amazing. Okay, and I really find them useful when it comes to my planning and making sure that I am on target and I am on track, just to keep me accountable as a teacher as well. So utilizing those particular drop-down information boxes, another fantastic tool that you can use when it comes to Google Docs. Let's head over to tip number 7. All right, the 7th Google Docs tip and trick that we are going to look at in this episode is how simple and how easy it is to change our page setup. All right, so maybe you want to change the margins, maybe you want to change the layout, maybe you want to move from portrait to landscape. It is so easy to do that in Google Docs. And it's very similar to what you would do if you were using something else such as Microsoft Word. So let's head back to our demonstration document here. And to do this and to change our page setup, I'm just going to head up to my File tab, and I am going to scroll all the way down the bottom to Page Setup. So here you can see that we're currently on Pages. So we are focused on individual specific pages. We can apply this to the whole document, or we can apply this to selected content. Okay, obviously in this particular demonstration document, we only have one page, so we don't have enough information to be able to use that option at this particular time. You can change your orientation. So perhaps we're looking to have a landscape document. You can change your paper size depending on where you are located within the world. You can change your page color. So if you're looking for a particular color that you need to use to support your students, you can do that here as well. You can change your margins. All right. So mine are currently set in centimeters because I am based in Australia. So you can do that there. So say I want to have 1 centimeter margins, I can do that just there. Then to make sure that those settings are confirmed, all you do is press OK. If these are settings that you would like to use as your default, you can change that to your default options so that when you create a new document, that will always be what opens, okay, so that you don't have to keep going back and editing those. So if I press OK here, okay, that's a very bright green there, all right, you can see that we are in landscape, my margins are 1 centimeter, and my page color is that very, very, very bright lime green. All right, I'm just going to head back to page setup and just talk about the second option here called pageless. Pageless is a relatively new format option that allows you to essentially add wide images and tables to your document. So basically, it almost takes away the confines of a page. And I'm going to click OK just to show you here. So we still do have our page, and you can see that we still do have our ruler indicators at the top here, but essentially we could add larger tables here. We could add larger images. So if we go up here and we add some tables, all right, we should be able to, hopefully this doesn't lie for me. We should be able to make our tables. There we go. So we are able to make our tables a little bit bigger. Now, where do I see this being beneficial? If you are creating a table with your students and you're typing information in, I often find that the confines of the single page, if you're using just the page layout, is really difficult, and you find that information might not fit on a particular page. But if you're using pageless, this might be absolutely beneficial, and it may help make it so much easier to be able to add that information that your students are providing you. So accessing the pageless view within page setup is another fantastic option. All right, let's head over to tip number 8. So our 8th tip that we're going to share with you in this episode is the ability to add a watermark to a Google Docs document. That's right. You've been able to do this for a long time in Microsoft Word, and now you can do it in Google Docs. So if you have something specific related to your school, or you have something specific related to your class, or you just like to let somebody know that something's confidential, you can add and insert a watermark. So we're going to head up to the Insert tab and just scroll down to Watermark. All right. Very similar formatting options to Microsoft Word here. We can select an image. So let's see what I have just here. Okay, I'm going to give you a very sneak peek of something that may occur. It's still in the planning phase. All right, but I have a watermark here for this little possible digital conference that may be coming in 2025. So I can pop that in there. I can scale that. Again, I can decide whether it's faded or not. I've got a range of imaging options there, just like any other image that I might use and create in a Google document. I have those options there as well. I also do have the option to include some text, so I can pop that in there as well. I can change my fonts, I can change my size, I can do all of those very similar things that I can do if I was adding a watermark in Microsoft Word. So I can add a watermark to my document now in Google Docs. Fantastic, simple, so fantastic. And it's just another amazing element of this already powerful tool. All right, tip number 9. All right, so the 9th Google Docs tip and trick that we're going to share with you is showing you how you can actually share your Google Docs document with other people. All right, so how do you share a document that you have created with other people? So let's head back to our demonstration document. All right, a couple of ways that we can do this. Up in the top right-hand corner, we have our blue share button. We need to name our document first. So let's call that Demon. Okay, that was hilarious. It is the Demon Unite Untitled document. Okay, so we can do a couple of things here. We have the option to add people, groups, and calendar events. So if you're within an organization, such as a school or a district, you might be able to add individual people and groups, etc. However, it's probably the general access down here that will make your life much easier. So at the moment, this is set to restrict, which means only people with access can actually open and use that particular link. Now, if I click on this, I have some more options. My second option here is my Evolve EdTech domain. So if I had other staff members within my domain, I could click that one, and then if they were accessing this particular document through their domain email address and portal, they would be able to access this document. The third one here, anyone with the link. Now, this is the one that you probably will use, and I find this is easier to use if you are providing and sharing something that doesn't contain really sensitive information. So basically, this is where you will be able to copy this link just here, and you'll be able to share that in any form or fashion with anybody that you like. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do. You can just make the link viewer only option, which means that the person that uses that link, they can view your particular document, but that's all they can do. You can also make them a commenter. So they can provide comments, all right? But that's essentially all they can do. Or you can make them editors, which means they have full access to be able to jump in and edit your document in whatever way they would like, all right? So there's 3 different roles that you can assign to that particular link based on the particular purpose of that document. And then you'll just copy that link and share that link however you would like to share it. Another way that you can share is you can head up to File. You can come down here to the Share section. Again, we can share with others, and that takes us back to the same section that we were on just before. Otherwise, you can actually go to this second option here called Publish to Web. So this is where we can actually create this document that we can actually link or embed on another site, like a Google site, if we've created that. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to make sure that we publish the site, all right? And then we will be provided with our link and our embed code. We do have some particular publishing settings here as well. So we can stop the document from being published, which will mean that the link and the embed code will no longer be valid. We can restrict it to a particular domain. And we also have the option to automatically republish when changes are made. So if you maybe have a playground duty roster that you have on your intranet, which might be a Google site, you can actually embed that, and then as changes are made, they are updated in real time. A real time saver that might make your life, if you're an organizer or you're a deputy or some kind of admin, much easier. We're almost at the end. Tip number 10. All right, the 10th and final tip that we're going to share with you in this episode is we're going to show you how you can download a Google Docs document, because there are a number of different ways that you can actually download a Google Docs document for a number of different purposes. So let's head back to our demonstration account, and I'm going to show you how to do this right now. All right, so to download, we're going to head up the top to File. We are then going to move down to our download button just here. And you can see that we have an arrow, which is providing us with a number of different options. So maybe you are a big Google Docs worker, but you work in a Microsoft school. Well, you can actually download your Google Docs documents as Microsoft Word documents. You can download them in rich text format. You can download them as PDFs. We can even download them as web pages. There's a whole range of options available through the download section in the File tab that will allow you to download and use your Google Docs documents in a myriad of different ways. So if you need to use it and you need to download or share or create it in a different format, you can do that right here. So you just head up to File, scroll down to Downloads, and this is where you will find all of the download options currently available in your Google Docs document. All right, I can't believe that. That was a whirlwind, very quick introduction to 10 amazing features that you can find and use right now in Google Docs. All right, so just remember, and I say this all the time, you can't break anything when it comes to Google Docs. Go out there, experiment, and see what you can create. Google are always introducing fantastic and brand new features and functions to their applications, including Google Docs. So it is an evolving landscape, but there is so much within this powerful tool. So Google Docs, it revolutionizes document creation. It makes collaboration so much easier, and you will find that you will be able to work with your students, your colleagues, and even your school community if you are using Google Docs. Its ease of use, its powerful features, the whole range of facilities to collaborate make it a very productive and efficient document management process. So go out there, experiment, and see what you can do with this wonderful tool. All right, that's taken us pretty much to the end of this episode. How amazing is that? Well, before we finish off episode 4, I do just want to remind you that we would love it if you stayed connected with us here at Evolve EdTech. You can head over to our website, evolveedtech.com, to check out everything that we have on offer there. We're also obviously here on YouTube, so please, if you haven't done so, like and subscribe to our channel and this video, because that inspires us and helps us to continue to create content, resources, providing you with tips, tricks, and tools to help you with your EdTech journeys and adventures. You can also find us on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. You can check us out on X, and we do have a TikTok channel. Yes, we do. We have a TikTok channel, and we would love to see you supporting us on all of those different social media platforms. Your support helps, so please share everything from Evolve EdTech with your colleagues so that we can start to help each other and develop our EdTech toolkits, because it's all about supporting our students, because they're going to be the ones moving into a vastly different world to the world that most of us grew up in. And without providing them with those skills, we're actually doing our students a huge disservice. So that's what I'm here for. I am here to support you. I'm here to support our students, and I'm here to make all of our lives so much more fulfilled and enriched through educational technology. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 4 of Innovative EdTech. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 4. My name is Tristan. I am the creator of Evolve EdTech. Thanks for joining us. I hope to see you again next month for episode 5. But until then, everybody, stay safe, and I will see you again very soon.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Evolve with EdTech podcast with your host, Tristan Herring. If you loved this episode, please rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to our podcast to help others find it. Once again, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you again in the next episode of the Evolve with EdTech podcast.